You know, it's been stated many, many times that Pavarotti said singing is crying on pitch. So if you want to improve your singing, think about crying while you sing.
Run, run, lost boy, they say to me.
All right, so it may not be so simple, but for a lot of you, you may be wondering, what does crying give you when it comes to singing? Well, first off, let's make a crying sound. There's different ways that we can cry. We can cry like, wah, wah. That's a cry. Or we can have a, oh, oh, oh. That's also a crying sound. Those are two very different sounds because one is created with the low larynx. That's the second one. The first one is created with a very high larynx. Is one correct and one incorrect? No, because both can be done freely and relaxed. It's all about how much exterior muscles you're using to be able to produce that cry. The benefits of crying while singing is that it approximates or brings our vocal cords together in a strong way, which then allows us to sing through our range without any breaks or disconnects. So if you find that your voice disconnects at a specific spot where you've got, your lower range, your ah, and then your upper range, your ah, and the two are not connected, what you can do is use a bit of a cry to connect both. And let's try that. So I want you to think of not singing. We're not singing here. We're just crying. Ah. If you want to sing with more confidence and power, then you have to sign up for my lesson subscription. You get 2 group lessons with me personally every single week. You get access to all my courses, and you get access to recordings of all my one-on-one lessons with my students. That will help you learn vicariously through them. Click the link down below to sign up now. And so what you might find is that it smooths out that passaggio, the passageway between our chest voice, ah, to our head voice. And our goal as singers is to try to smoothen that out as much as we can and be able to sing in that place. So for a lot of people, they will have, the verse will be down here like this, and then the chorus will be up here like this. And it'll be 2 totally different, disconnected places in their voice. And they can't sing in this middle place in the voice. We need to try to find that middle spot and be able to sing there. So now we're going to try crying on different vowels. So we just cried on an ah, but let's try crying on an o. Let's see what that gives us. It might give you a different sort of feel than the ah. So if we go oh, this might give you a different sort of approach to that crying feeling. Now let's try it on an e. I can feel with myself that E gives me just a little bit more chord closure, a little bit more brightness, fullness. And what we could do is try to put that on a melody. So like we're singing we could try to put that there. Or if we go we could have that as well. Or we can try something more along the lines of the cry that we started off with and play around with that. And obviously you don't have to go with the national anthem. I'm just going with that because it never gets copyright flagged. We're gonna go on an ah, really bright, wide, whiny, crying ah. Ah, ah. And you see how I'm crying up to ah. It's got a cry on it. Now, sometimes we can overdo that cry and it can sound a little bit too much. It could sound a little bit too pushed and too squeezed. That could be a little bit too much. So we don't want to take it too far, but we want to try to find enough of that to be able to balance out the voice. Now, this really only works for those singers that have a little bit more breathiness kind of built into their voice. So if you're a singer that naturally sings like this with a lot of this type of pressure, then maybe doing this is actually going to imbalance your voice a little bit. I want you to think about it like this. We always have to balance out 2 opposites that we're playing with. We're playing with airflow, and we're playing with squeeze, that amount of vocal cord closure. We need to be able to balance those 2. If we have too much squeeze, it's going to sound like that. We have too much airflow, it'll be very, very light and airy. So we're always balancing between those 2, and we want to try to play that game. This is going to help those people that naturally will go, for those people, we need a little bit more oomph. And that's a lot of beginner singers out there. A lot of beginner singers are stuck in this type of quality. They're not going with a nice amount of fullness. So it does take a little bit of practice to get a feel for this and to really embed it in your muscle memory. So let's play around with a couple of exercises that you can do on a daily basis to try to cry your way through some songs. So the first exercise is just going to be on that ah. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cry on a chest voice tonality. So let's do it like this together. Ah. Oh. This is going to work really well for 99% of verses out there, right? So your verse is generally going to sit lower in your range. Oh, that's more of the verse area. Oh, that's more in the area of the chorus. So for that one, we're going to need to work on a different area of our range. But let's start off with the oh. So oh. Now let's take that up a little bit higher. So we go oh. Ah. Some pitfalls to watch out for are not keeping the vowel the same. So a lot of people, as they do this, they'll run into the issue of changing their vowel without even recognizing it. So we don't want to go like this. Ah. If you can hear there's a little bit of a quality coming in. For a lot of people that I teach, that is a quality that they lean on instead of keeping it very pure. Ah. All the way through. That's an important thing. The other thing that we want to watch out for is any sort of disconnect from that closed chord position. So we don't want to have we don't want to disconnect. We want to keep that integrity of the cry all the way through the range. So I hope this helps. And if you like content like this, you're going to love this one right here. Click on that video and I'll see you there.